Hello and welcome to Las Vegas Locale. My name is Dan,
And I'm Adrian.
and we are back with another monthly market update where we're going to be covering the market statistics for April 2025, taking a look at what's been going on in the single family. It's been an interesting month.
Yeah, I think we got some really good information for sellers out there this month.
Yes, absolutely. So let's jump right into it and take a look at what's been going on with the single family market. Let's start with closed units, where in the month of April we had 2,174 closings, which was a slight growth, almost the same from what we saw the previous month, but a 7% decline from a year ago. So what's that telling you?
The market's pretty much holding steady. It's going through its seasonality, increasing little by little over the next few months as it should, but overall a little bit less activity than we typically see.
On those closings, we had a median sales price of 480,000. So we just continue to see a hovering there. Last month, our record of 485,000 maintained. For new listings, and here's where the big spotlight is for us, 3,663 new listings hit the market, which was a 10% jump month over month and a 27.5% increase year over year. So a lot more seller activity that's happening right now. Why do you think this is?
Well, I think people are just ready to sell, right? They've been kind of waiting for the last 2-3 years for things to kind of go one way or the other, and really they're kind of staying the same. So I think more people are just ready to sell and kind of take the next step in their journey.
Yeah, the uncertainty is kind of dissipated, and now people are looking for an opportunity to just move into their next home. One thing that we found pretty interesting, of those 3,663 new listings, almost half of them were in the $400,000 to $600,000 range.
Right.
And you and I discussed, for a lot of that means half of the sellers are probably first-time home sellers. If that's you, a couple things that we want to make sure you're aware of. The first thing is we have a rule of thumb as real estate agents that we consult our clients on, and that is usually your first offer is your best offer. A lot of times sellers may hold out thinking that another better offer might come along. It's best to engage with every offer that comes in, let alone the first offer.
Exactly. And also pay attention in the first 2 weeks how much activity is going on. If you're not getting any showings within the first 2 weeks, that means you probably priced the property too high and it's not marketed well. If you're getting enough showings, that means you're probably priced pretty well.
That's right. We have a rule of thumb, usually 10 showings, hopefully 2 offers in that first 14 to 28 days. If you're not hitting those numbers, it's time to reassess your strategy.
Definitely.
Taking a look at inventory, we had 6,213 homes available, which was almost a 79% increase from a year ago. So not quite double the amount of inventory, but substantially more than what we were seeing a year ago.
We increased 10% from last month, which has been a repetitive pattern. So inventory is pretty high right now overall.
Good news for you. If you're thinking about buying a house, there are a lot of options on the market for you. If you're thinking about selling a house, one thing we're noticing is you have a beautiful home that's on the market. You probably have people even calling, asking a couple of questions about the details of that home, and then they ghost you like a bad ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, right?
Right.
Don't take that personal. Understand that because there are more options out there, buyers might be taking a little bit more time doing their due diligence on all of the inventory out there. Just make sure your agent is staying on top of the agent for that person that's making those calls. So that way you're keeping things moving in a proactive manner. The most important statistic that we cover is what's going on with months of inventory. That number came in at 2.9 months of inventory on single family, which is a 92% increase from a year ago. Anytime that number is 0 to 4 months, we're in a seller's market. 4 to 6 months, we're in a balanced market. 6 months and above, we're in a buyer's market. Clearly, we've been in a seller's market and we are moving in that direction of a balance.
Yeah, I think the next few months kind of hold exactly the same of everything that's been going on now. Just a slow, steady pace. Prices not decreasing, but buying opportunities out there for the people that are ready to make that jump.
Now, one thing that we were talking about off camera before this recording was one interesting behavior. Condos and townhomes, we've usually alluded to the fact that a lot of the people that are buying those are the first-time home buyers.
Right.
As of late, we've actually been seeing a little bit of a shift in behavior, and these first-time home buyers are actually moving more towards the lower-priced single-family homes. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that most people nowadays, when they're starting to buy homes, they're starting to buy it later in life. And they're making a lot more money. And so they're jumping right into the low side of single family, anywhere between 300 and 400,000. When you compare that price point to a townhouse or condo that has an HOA of 2 to 300, it makes sense to just buy the home that you want and the small end.
Which is interesting because a lot of times those single family homes at those prices might have been older and not as great condition as a condo townhome at a similar price. But we're seeing the buyers of today right now, a slight shift in behavior. We don't know if it's a pattern necessarily yet, but for a lot of the clients we've been working with, they're okay looking at something that might be a little bit older, maybe requiring a little bit more work, if it could save them some money on the payment, especially with the HOAs being substantially lower.
Yeah, and I think a decent amount of that inventory in that price point, anyways, is homes that have just been flipped. So
Yeah.
they've got that key move-in ready.
One other thing to take note of, volatility in mortgage rates continues to show up. We see a trade war going on currently. We also see the jobs report and inflation report showing us different readings. So as a result, we continue to ride the mortgage rate roller coaster, which is leading to a lot of people kind of sitting on the sidelines and waiting until this all shakes out. And so if you are riding that roller coaster, understand this, there are still some great opportunities for you to negotiate a seller or new home builder to give you money to buy that interest rate down. And we're still to this day seeing some buyers getting interest rates in the sixes.
Absolutely, yeah, especially with new home builds. I mean, they're giving you the
Let's say
farm
the
right out of
fives.
the gate.
Yeah, we're seeing some interest rates in the fives. There is great opportunity out there, despite the roller coaster that you are either hearing about or riding yourself. Just make sure you're working with an experienced agent that knows the right avenues to go to get you the best deal in today's market.
That's right.
That is your market update for today. We hope you found it informational. Drop in the comments your thoughts on what you think is going on, as well as where you think the market is headed for the second half of the year.